at 360 degrees. So what I'm going to do here is just line this up perfectly. Well, it's close to, so we're at 359.8. So now what happens here is if I go allow create fields and make no adjustment to our heading, this will project a beautiful straight line off of this field. Hey guys, welcome back to AF Farms for another episode of Haut Beyleron Start From Scratch. So kicking off today's episode, we are going to go and repair and refuel our Case IH combine. So you can see there it's desperately in need of refueling, and I've been putting off repairing it for a few episodes now. So we'll head over to the shop and we'll get that done quickly. And then while we're on the way there, we'll talk about what we're going to do today. So we're going to invest in that lizard subsoiler. So we're going to go to the 9 meter, and we're going to use our T9 New Holland tractor to plow our field that we own and possibly extend that field in preparation for putting in some grass. So the theory behind that is going to be to get into silage in some capacity, the silage bales I'm thinking, just as a way to start to boost our income. So let's get that fueling happening. So the refueling is a little bit of a process, but we are done. Cool. $817 in fuel. So while we're here, we're going to get this combine and header repaired. We've also got the sprayer there we haven't utilised as yet. So I'm thinking if I just park here, I'll be able to interact, and there we go. So let's go. So 10 grand for repairs, no, 2 grand to repair the draper header. So let's go triangle to repair, yes, and repair the combine. Excellent. Alright. So I'll just park these off to the side momentarily, and we'll go and grab this subsoiler as well. Alright, so that's fine. Let's jump into the store. So the one we're getting it's in the plow section. It's the Lizard 9 meter, 6 meter subsoiler. We're going to go the 9 meter variety, and we're going to keep it in OG red because that's just how we roll. We're going to buy that outright for 20 G's, or 19,000, sorry. Alright, we've got that there. Let's go and jump into T9. So we haven't used the T9 for anything yet, so now seems like a good opportunity. Now we possibly got some contracts we can utilise, so we may do that while we're attending to this field. However, I just want to get this underway because I've been putting it off for a few episodes, and I've got the T9 sitting here ready to go, so I want to make the use of that. So I must say, I think the T9 is probably up there with my favourite large tractors. I mean, I am a fan of the John Deere 9RX, but just something about the New Holland blue and just the design of this thing, I find it really, I don't know, quite interesting. Right, let's make our turn so we don't miss the farm. One thing I should start to do is get those customised number plates for AF Farms, so I'll have to remember to do that in the next purchase. Right, let's head over to our field. So what I'm also thinking is probably extending into this area here. So I'm going to take this field and push it out to about this, in line with this concrete edge where the grass meets, and do the same basically to about probably, well, we do have a bit of a narrowing, so I want to try and retain the squareness of the field. So there is a little trick to make sure we get dead straight field. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drive over this because this is withered soybeans, so it's of absolutely no use to us. It's full of weeds. Not too worried about destroying the crop at this stage. But what we're going to do is we're going to extend this field. So what I'm going to do is we'll lower this plow. So lower plow. Now what you want to do is you want to basically line up your GPS as close to 360 degrees as possible. So you can see in the bottom left hand corner of the map you've got a little GPS marker for your longitude and latitude. So as long as you're pointing at 360 degrees, so what I'm going to do here is just line this up perfectly. Well, it's close to, so we're at 359.8. So now what happens here is if I go allow create fields and make no adjustment to our heading, this will project a beautiful straight line off of this field into the unplowed field. So you can see that there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take it to this edge. Okay, lift the plow. This is where it gets a little bit tricky. So what you got to do now, we're facing at 90 degrees. So what I'm going to do is try and get this lined up with the edge we just put in. So the closer you can get it to, so that's 88.2. That's 91. The closer you can get it to right angles with each other, the straighter your fields are going to be. If you're doing it, so this is, we're at 89.8, so I'm going to drop that plow in. And what should happen here is, so looking pretty good. So let's just see what happens. So if I project a line going this way at 90 degrees, or roughly 90 degrees, and make no adjustment to the camera, we'll end up with a perfectly straight run. And what I'll do is I will end it. So I'm going to swing the camera around, but this shouldn't affect our heading. Line it up just so we're in line with the edge of the field we want to extend. Now look, you don't have to do this, but this is just my preference. I think the plan ultimately for me would to be combine all these fields. The only downside to that is you can't have, you basically got one huge crop of everything. So I'm going to go limit to fields just while I get this lined up. So now we're at 0 degrees. Let's go allow create fields. So you can see we're a tad wider, but that's okay, I'm not too worried about that. And now what I'll do here is drive it up just till we get to the edge here. And we've got a pretty, almost, if you're a bit OCD and you want to have everything perfect, there we go. So if we just fly out, we've basically put a nice straight edge. Obviously we've missed a little bit here, but that's just probably possibly an unplowable area, maybe, we'll see. But now all we're going to do is we're going to fill in this section here that's not plowed, and then we are going to plant some grass. So I will get this done and then we'll check it back in a few minutes. Alright, here we go, last little bit to join these fields. So you'll notice too, the ground texture that was there, so the concrete, the grass, the dirt, it all just gets amalgamated into the plowed state. So it effectively gives us brand new fields. So I'm going to limit to fields. So a quick look in the PDA, not the PDA, the build mode. So you can see there, nice little bit of a field extension. Got a little bit of a overlap just there, but that's nothing to worry about. And we've just probably increased that field size by, I don't know, let's say a third. So if we go a third there, another third there. So we just added, I don't know what the terms in square meterage would be, but it's a significant amount. So what we'll do now is we'll get this guy underway on a worker. So just make sure that's, yeah, limiting to fields because I don't want to overplow it. Get the worker underway. Now this is probably going to bring up some field stone, which is fine. Now I don't think we have to deal with the field stone if we're going to plant grass, because we could just roll the field to push those stones back down, but we'll see what happens. Alright, let's go and check out contract menu. Alright, looks like we've got a canola harvest we can get on board with, so I'm going to borrow the items for this. So field 21, triangle to borrow items. Okay, so let's go and send our JCB fast track. So looks like we're using the similar equipment we did last harvest. So what I like to do is I like to use contracts when I'm doing something on my own farm, just to make the use of opportunities to make money. So field 21's all the way up there, so let's go to just here. So it's about maximizing productivity as much as possible. So what we'll do is we'll send our combine fleet. So generally what I find with the workers is I want PS5, so they're a little bit temperamental, but if we're having issues getting them started, line them up on the road and send them to the nearest road. So let's go that way. So now this guy's more likely to not have an issue. And you also want to send them in the direction that is going to make it easy for them to park, because what they'll try and do is they'll want to face the direction you put them in. So if you're not paying attention to what direction they're supposed to end up in, it can cause a bit of an issue. So if we just drop that off there we go, that snaps on. So we learned our lesson last time from that, where the header unfortunately fell off halfway en route to the field. So I am going to drive, so I'm going to drive this guy up there. So I'll meet you guys up at that contract and then we'll get started with the harvest. Alright, we're all here, we've made it in one piece. So we've got our combine, so our own combine, and this is the least one, so we'll set up just on the side here. So let's get this header connected. Right, we'll send this guy off on a worker straight away. Okay, let's drive this guy into a better position. Now one thing I didn't do with these guys is I didn't wash the header and combine itself, so they're still a little bit dirty from last harvest, but not a huge issue. Now having this big header is such a huge time saver. I mean, the efficiency gains from this alone are well worth the investment. Alright, we are underway. Alright, let's go check on our plowing. Okay, so this guy is stalled for some reason. What I'm thinking is we've got to do a headland row, so let's do that. So one thing I do notice with the subsoiler is it does tend to leave, especially the 9 meter, it does tend to leave parts of the field unplowed on each run. So hopefully by doing this we'll have more room to turn around. So I've got a feeling it might have been because of crop destruction. So you can see we just missed a bit there. So I'll drop that back down. Because it looks like we've got some sorghum just behind us, which I don't think we can destroy because we don't own the field, so let's just test that out. Yeah, you can only destroy the crops that you own. Alright, the steering takes a little bit of getting used to on these articulated tractors. So we'll send this guy off on a worker. We'll just do this run. And then what I'm going to do is I'll line him up on this opposite end. And we should be good to complete this actually. Shouldn't run into any issues now. I mean, this lizard subsoiler is an absolute game changer. It's probably easily my favourite ground preparation implement. I mean, when this first came out, that's what I used to plough no man's land to get those really massive fields before we had the field mods. Alright, let's go check on our harvest. So it looks like our owned combine is ready to go. So it makes sense. Look at this. Look at the coverage area. So that's 3.5 runs, and we're all ready to go. Alright, let's get this guy unloaded. So let's double check where we've got to go. Okay, so let's go to the farm shop. Cool. Alright, while this guy's underway, I'm going to get a cultivating contract underway. Let's go to this guy. So let's borrow the items for that. So what I aim to do is try and get, so we can have up to 6 workers at any one time. So if you want to maximize your productivity, utilizing the workers to your best ability is the name of the game. So field 1, if I am not mistaken, is all the way up there. So I'm going to send this guy over on a worker. So we've got 4 on the go at the moment. So we've got 3 doing field work and 1 driving to target. So this guy is good. So you can see about the subsoil there, how it misses those little sections. So I'll have to come back through and fix those up. This guy's probably missed a little bit of crop as well. 17 kph, so I think this is the Titan Draper, especially going downhill. So we're hitting maximum speed there. Okay, this guy's on task nicely. Got the John Deere front weight, it looks like. Or it could be a lizard front weight. Little Valtra. So what brand of cultivator have we got? We've got the Haut Tyranno 3FX. So I believe that is base game. I don't have the Haut pack, so not yet anyway. Alright, we'll check in on this guy once they make it up to the field. And this guy's just powering through. Love it. We might even just, this might even just be a 1 load trip to the sell point for this field. I mean, it's looking that way. We'll jump into this guy. So I'm going to do this last little bit manually. So we've got a couple of little bits here, a little bit in the middle down there, so we'll go and grab that. So I think once we get a second tractor, I mean, we would have had 2 tractors if I kept that McCormick tractor, which I absolutely should have kept in hindsight, and a suitable trailer. We won't need to worry about. I'm just going to see if I can sneak past this guy. We won't need to worry about borrowing the items for these contracts, which will further boost our profits because we're not having to pay the lease fee and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, that working width is amazing. And a small little bit just on the edge there. Alright, that's it. Let's raise that header up. Get our pipe out. Alright, all ploughed. Got a little bit of fixing up to do. Grab this last little bit. Hopefully our other combine's still unloading. Got a feeling it's not. Get this guy emptied. Okay, this guy's empty. Awesome. Alright, so we'll get him folded up. Actually, you know what? I might just leave him here, because when I say here, I'll park off to the side, because there's no real need to get this guy back to our main farm. He can just stay stationed up here just in case we've got to drive him up here again. Just saves on fuel. Okay, that guy's done. Right, let's go and drive this over to the sell point. So I am going to drive this one over. So we've got a bit of a ways to go. So let's go this way. This is where we had our crash the other day with the AI workers. So make sure I drive on the right side of the road here. Alright, I'll drive this up to the sell point and I'll meet you guys over there. Alright, here we are coming up to the farm shop, just admiring the nice patch of sunflowers to our right. Quite picturesque right there. Alright, let's go and get this unloaded. So this should be it. This is the only load we've got to do, so this is a nice and efficient, quick contract. Alright, job done. So that is... Field 21 is, yeah, finished. Okay, so let's go and collect on that. Okay, field 21, so we got $3,000 out of that. Minus 700 for lease costs. So let's collect. Okay, this guy can stay here. Alright, let's finish off. Let's finish up plowing up this little mist section. So I'm not sure why this happens. It could just be the 9-meter plow that does this. But it seems to be sort of every second run on the reverse, which is a bit unusual, but I mean, it is what it is. Another thing we could probably look to start doing is doing some field flipping, because we've got a bit of cash now. So yeah, because we've got a bit of land available, so I mean, we've got a bit of cash to buy the land and then sell it back. So this plot here is 112,000. It's got sorghum on it. Sorghum can be harvested, if I'm not mistaken, now. Okay, so maybe we'll do that. Just to give us a bit of crop to sell, because we've got our combine. We could very easily get a trailer and tow it with the T9. The T9 New Holland. Just double check it is a T9. I mean, I should know. And also looks like we've got soybeans or sugar beets growing here. This looks like potatoes or sugar beets. Yeah, sugar beets. Not quite ready to harvest, but that's probably something we'll pass on. Just a little bit too expensive at this stage to get involved with. Alright, yeah, and then we're obviously going to plant some grass there, so something to think about. Alright guys, thanks for watching this episode. Much appreciated. If you've got any questions, leave a comment below. Otherwise, I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.